Welcome back. We have some horrific news coming in from Bengaluru right now, which we're going to be focusing on. This is yet another incident of civic apathy in Bengaluru, where a 2.5-year-old child drowned after falling into a pit which was dug to install a water pipeline by the Bengaluru Water Supply and Sewage Board in Bengaluru. Now, the parents had alleged that no warning signs or safety measures were taken near the site by the workers, and based on the complaint of the parents, an FIR has now been registered against contractors and against the BWSSB engineer. We're crossing over to our correspondent Akshay to get us more details on this. Akshay, does this just then mean that all of the complaints that come in, because this is yet another death that we're seeing in Bengaluru because of civic apathy, do all of those complaints just fall on deaf ears? All right, we'll try to reestablish that connection with our correspondent Akshara, but for right now, this is yet again another incident of civic apathy claiming another life. This time, it's about a 2.5-year-old child who has lost their life after drowning in a pit that was dug to install a sewage line. Now, we're crossing back over to our correspondent Akshara. Akshara, over to you.
Well, you see, this particular incident took place yesterday in the morning when this 2.5-year-old kid was playing near his house where a pit was dug by the BWSSB. Now, if you take a look at the visuals, no proper safety measures have been undertaken there, no barriers have been put, or no warning signs have been put there, which should have been put because it's an open pit where they have been digging it for a while and have kept it open for a week or so. So such measures were not undertaken, and unfortunately, this particular child who was playing there went and fell into this particular pit and lost his life. So this unfortunate event has come to the fore now. Right now, a complaint has been filed by the parents against the BBMP contractor and the BWSSB contractor, and also the BWSSB engineer there. An FIR has been filed and necessary action will be taken against these individuals.
Absolutely. That's just action taken after the incident where a complaint has been filed. But the point is that the parents have already lost their child. The complaints that have constantly come in over the past couple of years where we've seen multiple incidents, are those complaints only falling on deaf ears?
Well, yes, absolutely. Many such complaints have been filed against safety measures not being undertaken. Many complaints have been filed. Many such incidents also have come to the fore. Recently, a couple of months back, we saw how a metro pillar crash took place, claiming 2 lives of a mother and a daughter. So there must be enough stress on the safety measures that has to be undertaken, be it the construction of metro pillars or metro-related work or the BWSSB work. Many such civic apathy issues that have come to the fore. So the BWSSB and the BBMP must ensure that these safety measures are undertaken. Stress should be laid on these issues in order to prevent such unfortunate events taking place.
And how many times is that plea going to come in for the BBMP and other boards who are undertaking this work when it comes to civic work? How many times is that same plea going to be made? Can you tell us about the action that's been taken so far? Clearly, it isn't enough.
Well, you see, we have faced many such incidents have come to the fore here in Bengaluru. The recent one was the major issue which took place here in Bengaluru was the metro pillar crash, as I just now mentioned. Action has been taken against the BBMP metro pillar workers there, the workers involved in the particular construction site, and also the contractors who had been booked in that particular case. And in many such incidents, the contractors had been booked. In few cases, no necessary action had been taken, and it did fall on deaf ears, but in few cases necessary action had been taken. But the main concern is that the safety measures that had to be taken are still not being taken, not just in this particular case. Across Bengaluru, where many such constructions work are taking place, or even if BWSSB is digging pits for any laying pipeline, no necessary safety measures have been undertaken, which should be undertaken as per the safety protocol of the work. The contractor or the site engineer should be held accountable, and also they should ensure that proper instructions are given to them to ensure the safety measures are undertaken in order to prevent such events.
Sure, and Akshay, we're also taking a look at the visuals that we're putting out images of that area where the toddler lost their life. Now, essentially, what we can see in terms of we can't really call it a safety measure, but there is a line of tape around one area. The point is that the pit that was dug, this was dug by engineers, this was dug by workers. There are relevant authorities which are supposed to be overseeing this issue. They're supposed to be overseeing any construction work like this. This doesn't seem like anybody who has essentially good knowledge of what needs to be done has actually put in their effort to ensure that nothing like this happens.
Well, this can be categorized under a clear case of criminal negligence. The site engineer should have taken necessary measures, instructed the site workers to ensure that these safety measures are undertaken, a clear warning sign that had to be put, and also a clear barricades that had to be put in order to prevent such events. But the site engineer should have undertaken these measures, instructed the workers to ensure this safety protocol are followed. Remember, there are safety protocols that has to be followed, with clear instruction. The manual that has been said, published and sent to the BBMP or BWSSB, they have a clear set of instructions. Even when the construction work is taking place, the safety measures that has to be undertaken. So clearly the violation of these, all the measures that are to be taken. So it's a clear case of criminal negligence, and rightfully an FIR has been booked. But once again, a child has lost its life. So the BWSSB or the BBMP must wake up to this and also ensure that these safety measures are undertaken when such construction work is taking place.
All right, Akshara, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us those details. Week after week, it seems to be the same story in Bengaluru, where civic apathy tends to claim lives. This time, it's the life of a 2-year-old.